Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Schla. And today I'm gonna be honest. Was kind of thinking that things would be a little bit better than they are right now. Just gonna be honest. I thought I was gonna get in the car early and quit, but I wouldn't say I did that much. You know what I'm saying? Um, Still recovering a bit from yesterday, and like when I got home, there was still kind of like more drama and things to deal with. I'm honestly thinking, and I mean, I don't know if this is the case or not, but I'm just gonna like say it because I feel like it could be possible. Like, I think the fact that I'm so patient with people and like I care as much as I do, it just seems like it always gets like taken for granted. Like it's like I don't know because I feel like so consistently, and I don't know if people would be like this to everyone, but people are very hard on me. They're very mean towards me. I don't know if it's because because there could be multiple reasons for that. I mean, I'm kind of, again, I guess I don't really I guess I don't see myself as being necessarily that good at communication. Like I kind of notice my mistakes when I talk. I don't really notice like even now for me to say that I'm well spoken, like I have to kind of push to say that because then I think about all the times I'm not well spoken. These little things that I do that are problems, like maybe pausing for too long or not. You see what I'm saying? So I guess I notice and I'm thinking of trying to fix a lot of my problems when it comes to speaking and communication. And so even now, like, it's kind of difficult for me to say I'm just well spoken. Like, I don't even know that I would say that. Now, again, I think in my experience, particularly with texting, I've never really met anybody like myself that can get to the same length of like description when it comes to handling and managing different arguments and disagreements. But I don't know that that necessarily correlates with quality. That's kind of the thing. Like sometimes it comes across like other people, they can just be very quick to say something and it almost comes off as like their statements a quality over quantity, whereas mine's just a lot of quantity. But at the same time, I don't know that that's necessarily true. Like I think it is probably helpful that I add a lot of like extra detail to things. It makes things, I guess, like easier for people to understand, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. But I've just noticed that it seems like a lot of people, I just think they either, that again, I don't know if it's consciously or subconsciously, they're either easier offended by the things that I do, which a lot of times I don't really see coming, so it's kind of weird because like I'm just thinking lighthearted and then it's like the other person is apparently heavy-hearted about it or like taking me like extra serious, or then there's like times I'm trying to be serious and then people can't even take me seriously. So that's kind of something I've dealt with in life. But back to the main point, I just feel like if I was less reasonable, then there's a lot of people I know who just wouldn't talk to me, and yeah, they either would have just like blocked me or something, or I don't even know what. It's just it's just weird. Like I feel like I get mistreated because of my patience. I think that other people who I don't know. I don't know if there's any truth to this or not, but I feel like if you have a lot of patience, they say like kindness for weakness, and I guess that's kind of what I'm saying, but I think it's also more about like patience for weakness, cuz I think there's probably people that wouldn't put up with what I put up with. The reason why I have so much patience is just because, again, my like vocal, communicative, social battery is like extremely high. I mean, I don't really get, like, of course, like anybody, I do get tired of talking, but it's not that fast. I mean, I really can deal with like a lot of arguing or stressful arguing before I really snap. Like and it's yeah, like I really I don't see a lot of people who are like that. Most people I see, like, they're obsessed with space. They have an argument. They need some days or whatever to like have this break, and then they'll apologize. Whereas like I'm fine with just apologizing right away. And I think that causes problems too, because I'm quick to apologize and then the other person like completely isn't, and that just causes like an unfair reciprocation. Like it is, it's just like it's not really that's not going to work in the long term. If I know somebody and I'm like, I mean, apologize, like what? I make mistakes all the time. I don't have a problem saying that. I've met people, I know people where you know they wouldn't say that about themselves. Like they'd want to say like, oh, like I'm amazing and blah blah. Like I've really met people like that who don't second guess themselves, who don't think they make any mistakes. And again, the correlative pattern and why I've described on this show, at least for at this point in my life, I that's kind of why I don't want to be confident. I don't really want to be a confident person because I've witnessed it before where you have confident people and they usually have a lot of blind spots. Like you just I mean it's so easy as a human to miss so many blind spots. Even myself, I'm sure I have tons of blind spots still. I've worked on that a lot. Like I think in the past year or two, again, I'm much more ready to do like a show like this. I'm much more ready to start recording, but I still don't know if I'm really at my prime yet because I guess my whole premise, it's a long premise and it's one that takes like years and age and maturity that I just I don't have yet because I haven't really started on that journey, in a major way until recently. But that could be myself holding myself up to another big standard. I just say that because like I didn't have a job for a while, and um, so to me, like it comes off as like like I didn't really get hit with experience. I think it's more experience. I mean, I think I tried actually to mature a lot just based on my own effort, but like I did not my level of experience, and it's still my level of experience is just like not I don't think it's that accurate. Like I'm fine with admitting that. It seems like my life is better than most people's lives, or you know what? I don't really think better is the word. I think it's materially easier, but it is mentally much more challenging. That is my takeaway. Like most people, and again, it's interesting how there's a reflection of that with my personality. Like I don't really like dealing with material things like that. I know it sounds spoiled, like, or like lazy, cause, and I'm fine with saying it is. Like, I'm not trying to say I'm not lazy, cause I am. But I'm saying like my mind is really my strength. Like, I don't want to do things. I don't want to do physical things. It's like my mental. It's just where I'm at, Like, that's always how I felt. That's always how I felt. And I mean, a part of this, like, this is something I hope in a couple years I think, oh man, that guy was stupid. I was really stupid for saying that. Like, I'm exercising now. I'm doing all this stuff. That's kind of what I hope. But I still think it's like there's been almost a stalling in my like physical development, and then there wasn't. Well, there was a stalling in the mental side of things too. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. But I think you see what I'm saying. It's like I'm just, again, I'm verbal, I'm mental, I'm like language, like I'm not really physical. I'm not really physical even when it comes to like writing versus speaking. I love speaking. I love thinking. Writing, I kind of like it, but it's just not my medium. You know what I mean? It's just not. So, I think like it's fortunate that I've been given the life that I've been given, because as I've said before, I mean, some people would probably say it's a spoiled life, but it's not like, outside of the it's really not that outside of the norm. It's not like I have like it's just insane excessive amounts of money. You know what I mean? It is probably, I like I said, for my age, I'm probably doing okay. Especially considering I only started working like not even that long ago. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing all right, but it's not like I'm to the point where, I don't know that I've lost touch of things. And I've also explained how I have these like pretty aggressive worries and concerns about money. So it's almost like mentally I've been feeling the stress that I think a lot of people in poverty feel, even though it's like as time goes on, I'm kind of like, I don't really understand why I'm stressing so much. Like, I don't really feel that I need to be. It's just like this whole, like, I'm like, why am I treating myself like this? I mean, I should probably just feel okay about things, especially moving forward, because a lot of my major spending is done, you know, besides the microphone stuff, but that's not really as much as a lot of the other stuff I got. Like, I should be, this year, it should just be like much less money spent, even though it's starting off on the wrong foot, because we won't really be past a lot of the debt from the stuff I purchased until I want to say March. So we're kind of, you know, we kind of just like tore through 2 months of income. Um, oh, but I will end up getting more wool clothing. I'm gonna do another order at some point. So there's that. I'm not really too sure what else I'm gonna be getting into though. Maybe just little odds and ends. I mean, I don't think there's too much else for me to um really be like diving into or anything. I don't know. I don't feel it. And I'm at the point now where I do think like the bulk of this year hopefully will be more of a refinement, tidying things up, especially in my room, focusing on what I have purchased in 2025 and kind of reflecting on that. So I guess, for 2026 so far, I have made some pretty like functional purchases. But you know, it's not like it's not I could have done better, but I don't know. But anyways, sorry, I'm getting pretty off topic from the main topic. I just think people like get away with so much with me, and I'm kind of tired. Like it's very exhausting, but again, at the same time, I feel like I handle it better than most people, which is why it ends up happening to me, because I think most people just would not handle it. So I don't really think that's too complicated. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know where else to get out with that. I don't know if that theory is accurate, but it's just two things I definitely notice. And at the same time, I don't really know that I have that much of a problem with it, because now that I'm older, like when you're a teenager, it's not good. Like it's not fun. When you're a teenager, you're weak, you're like, confused about life, you're like frustrated about things. At least that's how I was, like really just like, what is this world? What are we doing? Like, why is everybody like this, And then I realize now in retrospect, it's like I do think people, for whatever reason, have just been harder on me than they would be on like like I'm just held to these like very high standards. And then not at the same time, not really given much of a reward for it at the same time. Um, it's like not really given all that much. And when you're younger, that's horrible, right? Like when you're a child, when you're a teenager, all you really want is that, like, approval, I guess, or at least a framework where you could achieve it. Because for me, it always felt like the expectations were so high for me, and then other people get so much of a pass. It's like, how does that. I don't understand how that makes sense, because it's like, the one thing I've wanted more than anything recently is more grace, but I don't think it's more grace. Like I don't think or feel like I'm entitled to grace. I think that I deserve like some grace. You know what I mean? Now I know a lot of people that get away with a lot. In some ways, I feel like my kindness, like I just let people get away with stuff because I don't really want to do any, like I guess like I turn the other cheek. I just don't really get too involved. And it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it works. Like I don't really know well how else to say it. Like I just don't. I think though there's a lot of people I know that need like very strict consequences, and I see it too. Like they're not really as good as they could be. I think phones really cause a problem because it causes people to evade the consequences of their actions a lot. So, I'm not really into that. Um, you know. Sorry, I'm just thinking a bunch about cars. If you guys are wondering, I still wish that man, like I need thought recording, but I just don't know if it's gonna happen. You know, I just don't think it's gonna happen. Well, I don't really know, but when I looked at it, a lot of the like projections are not very good. I guess for it happening like all that soon. So yeah, I'm trying to think about what I was getting at. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I guess I'm just wondering because I'm just spitball. I mean, I could be wrong. I'm not. I don't know. I feel like in general, like I do a lot for people. If people like say they're mad about something or upset about something, I'll be like trying. I mean, obviously, I'm not like always perfect. Like sometimes I'll forget, but I do actually try and succeed really hard. And then it's like the same person won't even do any of the thing. Like it's like if I tell somebody else like, "Oh, I'm upset about this. Don't do that anymore." They're not changing. Like I've literally seen it happen so many times. I just don't like I don't understand it like at all. I literally I don't understand how other people can't see it properly. Like they can't see that it's unfair. It really baffles me. But I think part of the thing is, and I was thinking about this recently, is like it's like humans pattern recognition. At first, like I think it's horrible. Like when I talk to people, when I see people, it's like their pattern recognition is awful, and that's probably been something that has been such a strong suit of mine is like I do notice patterns, like I make correlations, I make connections, I'm usually comparing things, and a lot of people don't like when I do that. But again, it's like anybody I talk to, anybody I've known for like a long period of time, I'm just going to use my brother as an example. Like I'll notice they will start to mirror my like strategies when it comes to formulating arguments. It's not just my brother either. It's other people that I've known for long stretches of time because I try to use comparisons to make an argument because I think it's really important to have perspective. I think if you can't have a good perspective, it's kind of difficult to understand an argument, I guess, because it's like how am I going to argue something that, is like, if you don't even know the perspective of it, right? Like, to me, that's just like not, I don't know how that's possible, right? Because, like, right or wrong, it comes from a vantage point, or like a judgment, an ability to make a judgment, to make like a correct judgment is the vantage point that it comes from. So if you can't compare, if you can't have a good perspective, then I'm not sure like what are you really doing? Like I don't see how that really adds up or makes that much sense. You know what I mean? So I try to do comparisons, and I said this recently too on here. Like I always give like a good comparison, or I know when the comparison isn't perfect, and like I'll tell the person that. And then other people then like in a later argument, they'll just try to do the same thing for me. They'll they'll start like making some comparison, but I'm like that doesn't even that's like I know what it's like I know what they're trying to do. I know what they're trying the argument they're trying to formulate, but it's just like totally not like a good example or a good comparison. It's not accurate. And so I guess I'm realizing that that is a reason why I think many people in arguments like they're just terrible at them because you have to have perspective. Like without perspective, you can't win an argument. You can't even be, like there's no way you can even understand if you're right or wrong without perspective, right? Like this is the whole thing is like perspective really matters that much because it's how you make judgments. It's how you know are you right? Are you wrong? You know what I mean? Like it's just this thing that um it's like the core thing easily. I didn't really think about it that much before, but it definitely is like your perspective on things and your judgment on things. Because some people's perspectives can be wildly inaccurate, but then their ego is not gonna want to admit that. Whereas again, like in my case, it's like I want to have the right perspective. That's my ego. My ego is not my perspective. It's the acquisition of the correct perspective. And if in some cases that's like ambiguous, I think that's what's kind of been a um I guess like a development, a thing that is coming with maturity, because there are some answers that are pretty ambiguous, and they take a long time to say. So like at first when I was younger, I wanted to just get like a clear black and white, like, okay, well, what's better, right? And there's a lot of merit to that. Like, there's a lot of merit to that kind of thinking. It's just that not everything in life is like that, obviously. And so I guess as like a, teenager or whatever, I was like convinced. I was pretty convinced that maybe things are like I don't know what I was really convinced about. But I always wanted to optimize. I always wanted to try to do the most efficient thing or the most correct thing. And there's merit to that, but it falls short because there are some answers that, I mean, they really require like a lot of volume of words. And I think I've learned that more as I'm older, because now that I'm older, it's just, that's just how it is. Like I just realize more. Well, okay, it's also that I have the capacity to even talk about them, and there's probably still some things that, like, yeah, I probably still don't really have the capacity yet to talk about them, but yeah, there's a lot of issues that they just require a lot of depth. They require a lot of complexity, and so you can't, and you come to like an ambiguous conclusion. You don't come to some answer like, well, this is better or this isn't better. And so that's kind of where again, like, I don't know that it's that humans aren't logical enough, because I feel like everybody, to some extent, people like to do the whole thing like, oh, this is better, this isn't better. People honestly like to judge. Like, they judge a lot. I mean, a lot of people like to claim that they don't. A lot of people like to claim that they're not judgmental, but most of the people who do that, there's probably some people that are like generally less judgmental than others, but it's like anybody I hear say that, it's just like, I don't even know what they're talking about. It just seems like a bunch of nonsense. Um, because like they still seem pretty judgmental. It doesn't seem like they're not judgmental. Um, that's just what I see. Because I think the problem with being judgmental is you see it very relative to what you judge. So, if somebody's judgmental about something, like, they're not going to see it as judgmental because to them it's probably not hurtful. I don't know if that's the best way of putting that, but it's basically like, if someone's judgmental about appearance, for example, they might kind of be blind to it a little bit, versus like, if I'm judgmental about how a person's voice sounds, and then somebody else is like, "Oh, that's mean." Because they're not, because they don't judge other people's voices. You see what I mean? So I think there's kind of like, that could be an ego thing too, where there's kind of like this auto setting on the ego that it just kind of makes you blind to to the things that you, because again, I mean, that would be, well, they say it would be a horrible existence, but I don't really see it that way. I think it's like fine to know about yourself and to grow, but again, I think for most people, their brains probably don't have that um, ambition or like the capacity. And it's different when it's consensual or when it's not. I mean, in my case, like, it's not like a government or a greater society or system is telling me. It's like I just chose it. So how, you know what I mean? Like, it's just all right. Well, I think that it's been schla, and now it's time to buy schla. So, see you, schla.